Please feel free to continue to eat, but we are going to begin our program. It is my privilege to welcome you to the 2014 Kensington Lakes Activities Association Football Media Day, sponsored by Bricks Restaurant of Northville. Please give Bricks a hand. They did a great job of providing food for us. I'm Brian Macy, athletic director at Northville High School and also commissioner for the KLAA football. Welcome to the media. Thank you for being here today, and I hope that as last year you find this worthwhile. Though we are highlighting football today, we are extremely proud of all of our sports and academic achievements throughout our fine league. The KLAA recognizes 28 sports in our league competition. In 2013-2014, the KLAA captured 6 state championships and 9 teams finished state runner-up in their sports. The KLAA was formed in 2008 and we are excited as we enter our 7th year as a conference. The KLAA is made up of 24 teams that are broken into 4 divisions and 2 conferences, the Lakes Conference and the Kensington Conference. Over the past 6 years, an average of 10 KLAA football teams have made the playoffs per year, and a total of 21 out of the 24 teams have made the playoffs at least once over the same time period. The KLAA has seen 11 district, 3 regional, and a state runner-up championship over the past 6 years. In addition, many of our student athletes have gone on to play at the college level. These students are highlighted on our website at KLAsports.org. The KLAA Association has some of the finest coaches in the state, as a number of them have been honored as District and Regional Coaches of the Year. This past June, Mike Tedeschi led the Michigan All-Star team in a victory against Ohio All-Stars in the inaugural Battle of the Border. Congratulations to Mike and the Michigan team. We are excited to start our 7th season as a league and look forward to watching some of the best athletic competition in the state. Again, thank you for being here, and I hope, again, it is worthwhile, and we appreciate the time that we're spending here. We're going to begin with Bob Sheck. Bob is our assigner for officials, and he's going to just talk for a few minutes on any hot topics and things that the officials, from the official side of things. So again, welcome, Bob Sheck.
Good morning, everybody. It sure seems like the sun went up fast. It just seemed like we were doing baseball a couple weeks ago. But I promise to be very brief. Those who don't know me, my name is Bob Check. I'm the guy responsible for hiring all your football officials for all your games during the course of the season. But that doesn't necessarily make me the enemy. So I just want to let you guys know that most of the officials that work in this league have worked in the league for quite a while. They're pretty familiar with the coaches. We have a pretty good relationship between the officials and the coaches. Everything seems, most of the time, things work out pretty well. If we have disagreements, we always try to deal with them in a respectful manner between the coaches and the officials. One thing I'd like everybody to know that any of you guys who are getting ready to graduate or going to be seniors this coming year, if anybody ever thinks about wanting to become an official, make sure you contact your head coach and or your athletic director. I do a lot of scheduling only for football, for basketball, for baseball, and softball, and we're always looking for some other officials, especially younger people coming up. So if for some reason you think that after you get out of high school, you're not going to play, or you're going to play a different sport, you think you might want to become an official, contact your local AD, have them give me a call, we'll mentor you. We can get you going to football, we can get you going to basketball, baseball, or softball. It's not a bad part-time job if you're going to go to college or go to town. So if there's anything I can do in the future, just feel free to let me know, get in touch with me. All I want to say to everybody is I hope you have a good season. There have been a few new rule changes. Your coaches will talk to you about it at your practice. All I want you to do is have a good season, enjoy yourselves, just like I did many years ago, and hopefully nobody gets hurt. That's all I really have to say. Any questions about anything? Good luck, guys, and have a great season.
We have the privilege to have one of our coaches, Mark Thomas from South Lyon, very involved in the Michigan High School Football Coaches Association. So he is our regional rep, and he's going to come up and talk give you some information from the Michigan High School Football Coaches Association. So Mark Thomas, thank you.
I'd like to welcome everybody as usual. It's great to see all the coaches again. Our big thing, like I said, I'm a regional rep. You know, you can always get all the information from me. If there's any questions you got, send me an email. I also want to reiterate what Brian said. We are very lucky in KLAA. We had Mike Tedeschi from Old Lake Western do the border classic, the first one against Ohio State, or against Ohio. And they did a great job because down in Ohio, talked to a lot of them down there. They thought they were just going to take care of Michigan, but players. They didn't think we had players up here. And Mike did a great job leading the team and having Michigan win the first one. The next one is next June 13th. It's going to be at Wayne State University. You haven't got the information yet. So let's start getting your players and get things ready for that. But we're excited to have that here in Michigan now. To have that border classic. So that's all I have. Any other questions? Go over. Thanks.
Thanks, Mark. We're going to begin our program. The coaches will come up with their players, and then we'll spend about 2 minutes sharing with you in the upcoming season. We're going to start in the Central Division on page 4, as I set the tables up this way. And again, when you're up, your next team in order alphabetically, please be here on the side of the stage ready to go so we can be efficient and we don't hold the movie up too much. And again, after we go through this, you're going to have a lot of time to go to the individual tables and ask individual questions after the team presentations. So we're going to start with the Northville Mustangs. Northville Mustangs and Coach Matt Ladd. He'll introduce his players, and then Novi will be on deck.
Hi, first I'd like to thank all the people that contributed to this event, especially Mike Sudan, who is the owner of Bricks from Northville. Mike is one of our former players, and he's been great to our program and to our community as a whole. I'd also like to recognize Suzanne McGowan for all of her efforts. She's a former parent in our program, and she continues to work every day in our athletic program and does a tremendous job. Our athletic director, Brian Macy, and his administrative assistant, Liz Saliat, they're great to me, and these young men here that are standing up here, they're like icing on the cake. David Mormon, he's a senior, offensive tackle and defensive tackle. He's been playing with us since his freshman year on the varsity, and he's committed to the University of Wisconsin. And Ryan Roberts is a senior tight end and defensive end. He's been playing in the varsity since he was a sophomore, and he's committed to Northern Illinois University. You know, these are character guys that consistently do the right thing for the right reasons. They're model citizens. They're great leaders in our school, and they're very positive with their classmates. And on the football field, they're two of the nastiest young men that I've ever had the privilege of coaching. So you can imagine how fortunate I am to have them on our team. On this podium last year, I said that our 2013 Northville football team would definitely not be the fastest team that we've had in my tenure as a coach. I also said that it would not be our most athletic team or our most talented team. And this year's team will be no different. I did say that last year our team would be the hardest working and the most determined team that I had ever coached, and they absolutely were. We won our fourth division title in a row, and we also won the first conference championship in school history. It was our most successful regular season since 1961 when we had an undefeated season. I'm not foolish enough to stand up here and make any promises about 2014 in regards to championships or victories, but if our players' work ethic this past offseason is any indication of the success that we're going to have in 2014, I will say that we're going to be very happy at the end of this season. It starts with young men like David and Ryan. Thank you very much.
Next up, the Novi Wildcats, coached by Jeff Burnside.
First of all, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out to Novi High School today. I'd like to thank my AD, Brian Gordon, for helping setting up and being here today, and our athletic assistant, Teresa Brown, who I'm not sure if some here has helped out tremendously this year. Who's helped me out in enormous amounts, getting where we need to be. This season is going to hinge on our seniors. Last year we got 4-2. First time we've been at 4 wins that late since 2008, which was also the last time we've been in the playoffs. This season we kind of faltered down the end, and we didn't finish what we started. We felt like some of the guys felt like we had accomplished something. We got to that point, started to get some taste of success after that 1-8 season the year before, and I felt like we just didn't finish the job. This year, we're looking to finish the job. And it starts with these 2 young men behind me. They have been as dedicated as I've ever seen any 2 guys in the weight room. These guys right here who work tirelessly every day. Steve Davis is a 3-year starter for us. Offensive lineman, defensive lineman, tremendous strength, tremendous player, character guy, guys that we would name as our captain. In fact, we've already named him our captain for this season. That decision was made last year because of the type of person that he is. This is Joe Haddad, offensive lineman, defensive lineman as well. And once again, a great character guy. The reason he's here with us today is because of the tremendous effort that these gentlemen put in this offseason. This offseason, our guys have really put in an enormous amount of effort in that way. They have been tremendous. We are looking forward to an absolute great season this year. Looking at our entire senior class, we have large guys, many guys have experience in that. So it's with these guys and their senior class that's really going to drive us this year. We expect to get ourselves back to the playoffs, which is where Novi should be. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. And I do appreciate you thanking Brian Gordon and Teresa Brown, athletic director and athletic administrator here at Novi. Thank you for hosting us. It's a great venue to be at. Next up is the Salem Rocks, coached by Kurt Ricknow.
Thank you very much. We appreciate everybody's effort again this year for the 2nd year for this Media Day. With me today are 3 of our captains, 3-year starter and 2-year captain Ben Howie, senior Lucas Callahan, and junior Fred McKee. This will be his 2nd year starting as a junior. These 3 have already been named captains. Obviously, in our summer program, the leader of our program. We're excited going into the season for a couple reasons. Last year we were very young. We had 7 sophomore starters. Ben was out for 6 of our games for health reasons, so we're excited to have him back. In the mix of those young guys with another year of experience, mixed with our senior starters, we should be much improved. Going into my 6th season, by far this is the most athletic, football-savvy team that we've had, so we're looking to improve overall. The summer program has been awesome. Attendance, every single day these guys have been busting their butt, and we think that this year that will be show up on the field and on the locker room. So thank you, and good luck to everybody this season.
Next up is the South Line Lions, coached by Mark Thomas.
Again, I'd like to thank everybody for coming. It's a great thing that we do this at KLAA. We started this in the state of Michigan, so I'm real proud that Brian asked me to take a leadership role on that. So it's going to be a great help. South Line Lions, last year we were very young. We got 8 returners on offense and defense for next year. And some of the big keys we have is our quarterback and nose guard, Anton Subin, with us, does a great job. And then we have strong safety and tackle, Tim McPhee. Some of my captains are helping us out really well, doing a great job. We were pretty young last year, but we did a lot of experience. We won some close games, we lost some close games. So hopefully that experience will help us carry us on through this next year and have a successful year and maybe move on further to the playoffs. So thank you very much.
Next up, the South Miami Scooters, coached by Mike Lindman.
First, I'd like to thank everybody that made this Media Day possible. I think this is a great event, and I appreciate all the media coming and all the work that the people from Novi and Northville have done to put this on. First, I'd like to introduce the guys on the stage with me. To my right is our quarterback and one of our captains, Zach Powers, and to my left is Brendan O'Brien, an offensive tackle and defensive end. And could be a 3-year starter for us. As far as key returns that we have this season, we're returning 5 players on offense. These 2 guys behind me. Also, a couple receivers, Trent Willenmore and Connor Trapp are returning on the offensive side of the ball, as well as Nick Wade returning as a offensive guard. Offensively, we also think that we have the nucleus for a good offensive line with several sophomores several juniors that are coming up in the sophomore that we're bringing up. Our running back position, we believe, will be sound with one of our running backs returning that rotated at the position last year, and then also a sophomore coming up. Defensively, we returned fewer players, but our defensive line is pretty much intact. We had a rotation there. We're returning 4 starters there. Including Brendan O'Brien to my left that will be moving to defensive end. So our defensive line should be solid. We're moving safety Ryan Bowen over to a linebacker. So one of the keys to our defense will be our secondary, where we only return 1 starter. And if our secondary comes along, I believe it will have a pretty good solid defense. As far as keys, as far as the team outlook, we had a great summer working together with our camps and our passing leagues. The attitude is great coming into camp, and I believe when the season starts with the attitude and some of the kids that we've got coming, I believe it will be a very competitive football team. Thank you.
Next up, the Stevenson Spartans, coached by Randy McCullough.
Of course, I'm going to take this slow. Like everyone else, I'd like to thank Novi for hosting and all of you for attending. Introducing our key players up here, I brought our 4 captains. Starting with C.J. Weiss, who's a 3-year starter, 2-time captain. Mario Ferraro, who's a senior linebacker. Brad Scott, who will be playing D-line and some offensive line. And Connor Baum as tight end and defensive line. These 4 young men were integral in our off-season program. They're seniors, their leadership has shown through, and it's helped lead us into a successful off-season in our weight program and our summer program. And in terms of key returners, CJ played quarterback, running back, punter for us on offense, safety on defense. So that's going to be a huge bonus to have his experience back as being a 3-year player. Offense, we also have Austin Petrie, who joins us in the backfield. He'll be his second year on varsity as a junior. Defensively, where we have a little bit more experience, CJ in the secondary, Brad and Connor on the D-line, Mario at linebacker. We also returned Rob Schneider, who is our second leading tackler last year at middle linebacker. Our biggest off-season outlook that we have to look at is that we're going to be young. We have a small senior class. We were 5-4 last year, and our goals are to get back to the playoffs. And a lot of that's going to hinge on how our young kids, we had a very successful JV team and freshman team, how they adapt to varsity speed. So they've had a great summer. They've worked hard in the weight room. We'll rely on some of our defensive experience as our offense comes along. We may not be the biggest team, but we are going to rely on our athletic see the field that we're pretty athletic. One of the points of pride in the age of specialization, a lot of kids quitting sports and just focus on one or the other. Out of our 50 varsity athletes, over 30 of them have played multiple sports this past season. I think that's important to ensure they enjoy the high school experience. We look forward to a great division. I think our division is going to be pretty tough and an outstanding season. Thanks.
We're moving to the South Division. First,
All right, guys, I brought with me Greg Williams, 3-year starting quarterback, Vic Villarini, returning corner, and Jake Pago, returning starter linebacker, replacing running back as well as this year as well. We have 6 returning starters on offense, 4 on defense. We were 8-2 last year. I do believe this team's going to be a little better than we were last year, but I also think our division is going to be a lot better than we were last year. We also have 2 very tough non-league games with Holland, West Ottawa, and Heartland. I think the keys for us this year is our defense has to be better on third down. I think in some critical games, a couple we won, a couple we lost, but we just could not get off the field on third down. So that's going to be a big point of emphasis for us. And again, I think we're going to be really competitive this year. Thanks.
Next up is the Churchill Chargers, coached by Coach Bill Evelio.
Okay, again, I'd like to thank everybody that put this event on. It's great to promote high school football in our association. Trying to keep this quick to 2 minutes. The 2 guys that I have with me, Matt Skavinsky was here last year. It'll be his 2nd year as a captain for us. It'll be his 3rd year starting at left tackle. Matt is committed to Miami, Ohio, and was All-State last year as a junior. Also behind me is Brian Brooks. He'll be beginning his 4th year with us on the varsity level. Came up towards the end of his freshman year to punt and kick for us. And the final 3 years he's been up. It'll be his 2nd year as a starting quarterback. He's all conference honors last year, and he's currently committed to Eastern Michigan. Set some school records last year as a junior. And these 2 guys are very integral parts of our program and very great leaders for us. Like a lot of coaches have already talked up here, everybody's excited. We feel like we've had a pretty good off-season in the weight room and all of our summer programs as well. We returned 7 starters on offense, about 7 on defense. And the one good thing I think for us this year is we may have 1 guy starting both ways. So we feel like we have quite a few solid, good football players in addition to some pretty good ones. Offensively, we're going to return 3 starting linemen, and we'll probably start 4 seniors up front. 3 of our top 4 receivers return, including one that was all conference last year. And then on defense, again, we return 3 starters up front, both linebackers, and a couple of players in the secondary. I think some of our strengths is that we'll have good size and good skill. And probably our biggest challenge and focus is going to be on improving defense. So that's about where we're at. And again, we look forward to the challenges. Our division games last year, I think our 5 division games, 4 of them, I think the point differential was about 20 points between the 4 games. So like a lot of the other divisions in our league, a lot of our games come down to 1 play, 1 final play, and the margin of error is pretty thin. So good luck to everybody this season, and take care.
Next up are the Franklin Patriots, coached by Chris Calvin.
I'll introduce two players that I brought with me. Nathan Rogers is a senior, starts at free safety and slot. Mitch Godman is a 2-year starter, both offensive and defensive line. Nate's a 2-year starter. These are going to be two of our captains for the upcoming season. We returned 5 offensive starters, 5 on offense, 5 on defense. Other than that, we're going to be very, very young, a lot of inexperience. We graduated a lot of key players from last year, and our focus for this season hinges on these 2 guys and teaching our young players what it's like to win, continue to believe in themselves and their teammates, and to continue with our philosophy for us to be successful, that we have to outwork everybody every day. So we're looking forward to the upcoming season. Again, playing in a very, very, very tough division this year. I think this might be one of the toughest years in the South Division, and we're looking forward to it and excited about the upcoming season. Thanks.
Next up are the Plymouth Wildcats, coached by Mike Sawchuk.
All right, I'll start with introducing these 2 young men behind me. We have Shane Raymond, who's a senior. These are 2 of my 5 team committee members. 3-year starter at Mike linebacker, plays some low line for us. To the left will be our quarterback, Deji Adaby, started at wide receiver and DB last year. 2 great high-character kids and great leaders for us. We have 10 players returning on defense, 7 on offense. Very, very, very young last year. I think last season was very humbling for us, not making the playoffs, which made for a long off season. But the kids have worked their tails off. I think the key to the whole season is keeping the buy-in. If we keep the buy-in that we've had in the off season, we should have some fun this year. So good luck to everybody. Have a great season. Thank you.
Next up are the Wayne Memorial Zebras, and we'd like to welcome new head coach Tim Trinity to the KLAA.
Thanks for having us here. We're real excited. Our coaching staff is real excited. We have 3 of our key players here, and we have quite a few more that with similar athletic ability. Angelo Wiggins, he's a do-it-all, we call him Sideshow. He's a punt returner, tailback, defensive back. He's the only problem he had is he's a great punter and he's a great long snapper. So when you figure that out, let me know. Right here, this is Joe Bob Walker. He just got into town from California, transferred. He's our quarterback, and he plays a little bit of defense as well. Over here, we have 6'7" Jacob Miller. He's our tight end and defensive end. So, we're pretty confident this season. If, not in football, I think we're a good basketball team. But anyway, we're in the off season. These guys worked hard, created new life and energy at Wayne Memorial. It has not been a good situation for the past few years. The principal, the athletic director are determined to get this thing going in the right direction. And these guys behind me here are going to be part of that. We hope that as the coaches around us and parents, and they see a vastly different level of competent football team on the field. So again, thanks for having us, and we'll see you guys later.
Next up, John Glenn Rockets, coached by Tim Harder. right, well, it's great to be here. This is a great event. I want to start by introducing the two guys I brought with me. On my right side, we have Andre Brown. He is a 2-year starter, returning starter, wide receiver, and defensive back. On my left is Deshaun Baker Williams. He is a 3-year starter at offensive and defensive tackle. And Deshaun has committed to Central Michigan University. These two guys, I brought them with me because they have emerged this offseason as tremendous leaders for our football team. They've had great off seasons, and you know, when it comes to our core values and what we expect our guys to represent with John Glenn High School, there's no guys better than these two in the history of our program, in my opinion. Last year when I stood up here, I said that we were going to be young, and we were. We started a ton of underclassmen last year, juniors and a sophomore, and that means we got a lot of guys coming back. We have 13 returning starters this year, 8 on offense, 8 on defense, and if you do the math, it doesn't add up. That's because we have a couple guys going both ways. Probably the most talented team that I've coached in my tenure as the head coach. So the key for us is we got to be able to do the things that take no talent very well. Discipline, you know, the things that matter. If we can do those things, we're going to be a good football team. Thank you. And that is the Kensington Conference. Moving over to the Lakes Conference, and we'll begin in the North Division. The Lakeland Eagles, coached by John Maltese.
Thank you. I'd like to thank all the athletic directors and my KLA for putting this on, and our athletic director, Robert Summer, Mr. Michaels, and I thank the press for coming. The KLAA has got, I think, 4 leagues that have great coaching and great players, and year in and year out, this is one of the better conferences in the league. With me today is Nick Fuss, who's an inside linebacker guard for us, and Ryan Wonders, who's a running back and safety for us. And I'm excited more so than I have been in the last 5 years for this upcoming season. I really believe that senior leadership is what drives each and every year. We've got great leadership from the seniors and a lot of different athletic people. I think Stevenson mentioned about dual sports, and I commend you for that. One of the things we promoted in Lakeland is the same kind of philosophy. We've got a ton of 2- and 3-sport players, and I think that's great for themselves as football players, as well as it helps develop what they need to as a young men. So I'm looking forward to a great season, and thank you very much.
Next up, the Wall Lake Central Vikings, coached by Bob Meyer.
Key players that I have brought with me today, starting with Nick Crum. Nick is a senior 4-year varsity starter. He started at quarterback and safety last season, and he led Fulton County in touchdowns with 21. Zach Gore, another 3-year varsity starter, rushed for over 1,000 yards as a sophomore. Cody Patterson is a senior 3-year varsity starter at O-line. He's also returning all-league offensive lineman. And Ade Tukumbo Ogunjiji is a junior, 2nd-year varsity player who has already been offered a scholarship from Western Michigan. And I butchered his last name. I'm going to try it again. Ogunjiji. Returning key starters, Arthur Krupik, senior running back and DB, rushed for 800 yards last year. Ethan Rodriguez, junior running back. Jakari Robinson, a senior linebacker. Drake Temple, senior wide receiver and defensive back. Prince Alwenu, senior linebacker. Keith Thompson, a senior offensive lineman, defensive lineman. And Ben Costell, our kicker. The key to the season, we had a great offseason. Last year, due to numerous injuries, we do return a lot of experience, which paid big dividends this year. Our focus is to finish strong, good things will happen. To kind of piggyback on what Coach Lamar Stevenson said, of our 53 players, 40 of them are returning sport athletes, which is what high school football and all athletics should be about. Thank you very much.
Next up, Wall Lake Northern Knights, coached by Brett Moore.
First off, I want to thank everybody for coming out and the food and Novi for hosting this awesome day. It's nice. It's the second time doing this, and it makes our jobs easier as coaches to be able to talk to the individual media people all at once. The two individuals that I brought with me, Jamie Mears and Lewis Grobman. Jamie plays offensive tackle for us. Lewis is a starter in our secondary from last year. Most of all, I brought these two guys because they kind of epitomize what our program is all about. We're not going to say what they're committed to as far as college goes, about 4.2 GPA, 33 in his ACT, 4.2 GPA, 31 in his ACT. They're already going to pre-med and engineering school, so most of all our keys for this year, we want to continue to have fun. I think somewhere along the lines, football's got to be a fun sport. We're going to continue to play fast. This is probably by far the fastest football team we've ever had. But most of all, we try not to take ourselves too seriously and go out there and enjoy every day. We get to practice with each other and be around each other. And, good luck to everybody, and I'll see you guys in the fall.
Next up, Wall Lake Western Warriors, coached by Mike Zintensi.
The players that we have here today, first I'll introduce our junior, Kyle Thomas. He'll be our starting quarterback this year. This is Matt Jenkins. He'll be our starting center. He's a 3-year varsity starter for us. This is Nathaniel Charter-Harris, 3 years on the varsity. He's working between the offensive and the defensive lines. He was also all-state power lifter this winter in that competition that they had there. And this is John Witkowski. He's a 3-year starter for us. He started on the defensive side of the ball his freshman, sophomore, junior year, and this year he'll play on both sides of the ball for us. We have 4 returning starters on offense, and we have 3 returning starters on defense. We believe the strength for us, though, will be that we have 9 players that started 1 or more games, anywhere between 1 and 5 or 6 games that they've started. So if you combine that with the other numbers, we should be all right. Season outlook is going to be really how fast our juniors and sophomores come up to speed with the rest of the team. We have 8 juniors and 3 sophomores that we'll be depending on. So looking at 11 underclassmen to fill a lot of shoes and do a lot of good things for us. Thank you very much.
Next up, the Waterford Kettering Captains, coached by Kyle Schultz.
I'd too like to thank everybody who put the time in, put this on. Like Brett said, this really helps us out. It's the phone call we have to make to see everybody at once. I appreciate the media for coming out. This is my 3rd year. I was the head coach of Waterford Kettering, and I've had the pleasure of coaching these 3 guys all 3 years. 2 of them are varsity those years. Austin Wood, behind me, number 1 here. He's a 3-year returning captain. This is, all 3 of these guys will be on our backfield this year, and it's going to be the best backfield I've ever coached. We're going to be as fast as we've ever been, as any team I've ever coached at an athletic quarterback. Also play linebacker. He kind of captains our defense, and has been a great leader on both sides of the ball, really. And Alex Smith, number 13, he's a game changer on the field. He can score from anywhere. Really stretches the field for us. He's going to play both in our secondary and in the wing in the slot. Kevon Payne, number 4, he really brought it on at the end of last year. It's his first year on varsity. We're expecting big things out of him this year. He's going to start in our defensive backfield and also at the wing. We feel like we have as good a chance as anybody in our division, which is very tough. We expect to, after making the playoffs last year and having one of the best season in the last 20 years of Denver, setting school records for points scored, making the playoffs. We expect to return there, and that takes us back. We compete for a division championship, and like I said again, it's a very tough division. Wish everybody good luck, and I hope everybody stays healthy. Thank you.
Next up, the Waterford Mont Corsairs, coached by Chris Farr.
Just want to thank everyone again for putting this together. This is an awesome event. It's great for the kids, great for the coaches, great for our league. I just want to say, after coaching in different leagues throughout my 15 years of coaching, this is the best organized and run league that I've ever been in. KLAA does it phenomenal, and I think as coaches we also feel very blessed to be in this conference. Congratulations to Mike Zalewski for leading Team Michigan over Team Ohio. Again, great for our league, great for the state of Michigan. As far as I took the job, I think July 7th, 2 years ago, and I knew then kind of, where we were and what we needed to get done. And these guys behind me, for the most part, have been with me since that day. I started the program with 53 kids, and 23 of them were sophomores. And they stayed with me, they stayed the course, and we're really excited for the benefits that that's going to bring us this year. This is Logan Terrell. He, believe it or not, is a left tackle for us. He started this will be his third year, has not given up a sack yet. So don't let the size fool you. He also plays defensive end for us. As tough and nasty a football player as I've ever been around. He's a tenacious competitor, and that's why his size is never an issue. This is Juan Webb behind us. He joined us midway through the school year. Tremendous slot back for us, can play some defense for us. Great athlete, great kid, great student, great addition. This is Louis Compton behind me. Louis is a starting defensive end again. The best thing I can say about Louis is his 10th grade year when I got there, he was currently ineligible, and since the day I got there, he's never missed a practice. He's basically turned everything around. His academics are in order, and if I can say anything, that's what this program is about. It's not where you start or where you begin, it's where you are, and he's a great microcosm of where our program is, and we owe a lot of it to kids like him. And then we have, this will be his 4th year start, varsity quarterback, Cody Cup. I'm very biased. I believe he's as good as there is in the state of Michigan. And I know a lot of people are going to say that about your kid, and I understand that, but I think he's outstanding. He makes all the calls, he changes protection, gets us in good plays when coaches like us put us in bad plays. We're very blessed to have a great young man. And again, as a 10th grader, he had never really thrown the ball too much, and I was a stupid coach that came in and had him throwing it 35, 40 times a game, threw a lot of interceptions, and but through all that, we're still together and looking for a great season. And Adam Uplegger, Adam is also a quarterback for us. He starts on defense. He was our defensive player of the year last year. It's pretty special because these two are both in the same grade. And Dakota got mono last year. He missed the final 4.5 games, and Adam stepped up and came in and led us to a couple wins down the stretch. And so, pretty selfless team and a pretty selfless program. And I think that's really the difference in where we started and where we are now. Season outlook, I'm obviously really excited. We returned 18 starters. The key loss is J.C. Caldwell, who was a tremendous slot for us last year, caught 51 balls at 17 touchdowns. That's a lot to replace, but I think with the evolution of a lot of our kids, we're not really worried about that because it's a team game. We've got a bunch of kids that are going to step in and do great things. The single biggest thing I'm excited about is our offensive and defensive line. That's where football is won and lost. I believe that the most important thing to me is in the offseason was getting those guys ready to go. And we started lifting weights before the state championship game was played, so obviously you know, they've had a head start and we're a lot bigger and stronger up front. It's going to pay dividends. Thank you guys again. Stay healthy and we'll see you in fall.
Moving to the West Division. First up in the West, the Brighton Bulldogs, coached by Cliff Kiefer.
All right, great to be here. The two athletes I brought today, Alex Zielinski, our tight end, Nick Rich, our quarterback. Both these guys are 3-year starters, 3-year starters for us. We expect huge things from them. And more importantly, they're our captains, they're the leaders of our team, but they do it both equally well in the classroom and out on the field, and their service to the community and such. Yeah, very honored to be able to, and privileged to be able to coach two young men like this. They make coaching fun. They make it what it's all about, really. Because these two are perfect examples of student athletes. Okay. Some of our key returners, just like to mention some names. We do have, fortunate this year to have quite a few returners. As we've been young the last couple of years, those that have played us have seen that we played a lot of underclassmen the last couple of years, juniors and seniors, juniors and sophomores. And we're fortunate this year to have some returning seniors and also juniors that have had game experience for the last couple of years. Some of those include Joey Clifford, J.D. Ham, Nate Vasili, Tyler Trish, Will Taylor, Nick Berger, Patrick Dowd, Raymond Claus, Ben Finnegan, Austin Sharp, Lee Conquest, Justin Steele, Eric Conquest, Grant Dunachek, Mike Redlinger, and Austin Kern. So, we're excited about the season coming up, and some of the keys, just like you guys, everybody's here to go and win a championship, and we feel it the same way. But we have some unfinished business, and our expectations are high, but it's also going to be a challenge because our schedule is tougher than heck, starting with Novi, and it just throughout the entire season we have a very solid, extremely competitive schedule that we have to face and go up against not only players but very good coaches. And one of the things that this league has produced is great coaches. I mean, you guys, when you go up against each other, you know the other coach knows what the heck they're going, and that's what is exciting too as well from week to week, because there's very solid good coaching staffs throughout our entire 24 teams. We need to stay healthy and from week to week and win the day and be successful on that day. Wish you all good luck, and thanks a lot.
Thank you. We at Grand Blanc feel very privileged to play in such an outstanding league. The KLAA is tremendous with the players and the coaches, and we always hope to remain competitive and keep that thing going in this league. But we feel very fortunate to be a part of this league. Key players I brought with me are standing behind me. As you can see, most of the time people know me, where's your quarterback or where's your receiver? But as with kind of the general theme of a lot of people, these are the two guys that kind of stood out in our off-season conditioning and really kind of came up in the forefront. And they were both starters last year for us, Nick Williams and Tony Rowland here. Nick is an offensive lineman. He will see two-way duty and on offensive and defensive line. Tony is a linebacker and one of the toughest guys that I've had the privilege of coaching. Key returners, we got 2 3-year guys coming back. Again, a lot of focus has been on the first guy, Trayvon Avery, our quarterback. He threw for over 2,100 yards last year and was about 25 yards short of rushing for 1,000. I've never had a quarterback rushing that much. Then one of his counterparts there, the receiver Matt Mateo, was a 3-year starter. And what every coach likes to see is offensive line coming back. We got 4 out of 5 starters. Nick, Luke Rice, David Getz, and Tim Benson all come back for us. And then on defense, it's led by Tony Rowland, and defensive lineman Thomas Tucker, and defensive backs Brandon Brackett and DeAndre Simkins. And you know, with any team, this team has great possibilities. We expect to be competitive. We expect to have some real great games, and we have plenty of returning talent. But I know this, I'm starting my 35th year of high school football coaching, and every year you have those seniors lead you, and the challenge is to get those other guys to step up and play. And I know that I've asked guys, you know, hey, what kind of legacy are you going to leave, and who's going to step up and step in to do the job, and we'll see how that happens, and that will determine, of course, what kind of season we have. So, thank you very much.
High School, Brian Massey for putting this on. It's a great event. It kind of represents our league. Obviously, we have a great league. All 24 schools. It's a privilege to coach in this division or in our division in this league, and I think this represents what we are. I have Noah Marshall with me. He's a returning junior. Noah last year kind of took over as a starting quarterback in week 3 due to an injury. And he kept his position the rest of the year, finished really strong, had a great year. Great thing about Noah is he continued to get better every week, improved, and we're expecting a lot of things out of him. I have Jake Conwell. Jake is a 3-year starter. He came out my first year at Heartland as a sophomore and started on the defensive line. We expect a lot of things out of him as well. Like some of the other coaches have said, these two guys behind me and quite a few of our other players are 2-3 sport athletes, which is a great thing. Noah's a basketball player on our basketball team. Jake is a heavyweight wrestler on a pretty successful Heartland wrestling program. So we're pretty fortunate enough to have a lot of players that do that, play multiple sports, and I think it carries over into our program as well. Offensively and defensively, like everybody else, we return a lot of guys. We were young last year. We had 8 sophomores up with us last year starting positions, and we learned as the season went on, and we're going to kind of continue that. We continued that all winter, off the field. We returned 6 starters on our offensive side. We returned 6 defensive players. We're keeping the same philosophy. Our kids play one position. We think that helps us out quite a bit at Heartland. We're not going to be the biggest team that shows up on the field on Friday night, but we play smart, we play hard, we play fast. And with that, I think sky's the limit for Heartland football, and obviously it's going to be a big challenge. We have 5 playoff contender teams last year that made the playoffs on our schedule. 2 within the first 2 weeks of the season, open up at Grosse Pointe North, and then we travel over to Canton to face the Chiefs. So I wish everybody luck, and let's stay healthy and have a great year.
Media, this is a great day for us. I do have to send special thanks to the athletic director at Howell High School who did all the programs, puts those things together. It puts a lot of time in it, collecting all the information from 24 schools. Be a little stressful for them sometimes. He does a great job putting this together, and we appreciate it for his efforts, and appreciate the work with him and for him. I'm proud to be the head coach at Howell High School. I'm humbled by it. It's a great opportunity to work with kids. The game of football is under a lot of pressure right now, and we're facing difficulty with numbers and things like that out there with fears of concussions and costs. So I'm humbled at the opportunity to work with the young men that I do through sports. I have 3 of them with me. First one was Evan Seaman, over a 3-year letter winner at Howell High School. Started for 3 years, defensive back and running back. Maybe one of the fastest players that has been through Howell, and strongest pound-for-pound players. Next was Jared Patella, who was a 2-year starter, inside linebacker for us. And then Michael Dutz, starting free safety, wide receiver, is also a member of our basketball team, the women's varsity basketball team, and Howell history since 1900-something. So he's part of a championship team that do great things. The exciting thing for us is that these are 3 key guys to us, but we have a group of seniors that I could have brought a number of guys up here. And I think one of the exciting things for us this season is we have a group of seniors or leaders who just love to play the game. We may actually have some of the Division I athletes out there at some other schools, but a group of young men who really want to play football. They want to do it together. I'm a coach, that's probably one of the most exciting things for me and our program. So, we look for great things. The challenge that we face probably, it may sound weird, but to replace our kicker and punter from last year, Dan Ford, with the Saginaw Valley, who's been with us for 2 years as an all-state kicker. So we have to do that and rebuild a little bit of our offensive line. One thing I'm confident is our kids will come out every week and play hard with passion. So thank you. Good luck to everyone, and go Lions.
Partial save there off the glove. Stevenson still with it deep. 8 minutes to play, third period. Stevenson leads it 7-1. 7 unanswered by the defending state champs, Division II state champions. You may remember me saying that the Lions played the state champs last week, and that was Brighton, the Division I state champs, back to back. And we have a stoppage. All right, well, Ray, with 7:39 to play in the third period, South Lyon trailing 7-1. And we're going to wrap up our coverage here at Comerica Park on December 21st, 2013. Your final thoughts on tonight's game?
Well, I don't know if the unified team had fun, but I know I did, Dan. I hope you did. I know Mr. Boyer did. Looks like Stevenson's got a penalty right now. Maybe the Lions and the unified team can come together, put another one in, and maybe leave on a high note. I think it's great just thinking that the alumni Red Wings and Leafs are going to be playing here in just about a week from now. Hopefully we can all get down here. It's going to be a great time. And one thing I was going to say earlier, I mean, it's pouring rain here. I think if it was an NHL team or an alumni game, they'd have postponed it. So, I mean, these guys got a lot of heart to come out here. All the parents that came out on the bus and everything. And, it shows a lot of heart from the town to come out and hang out with the team, even though there wasn't a good chance that they could come away with a win, Dan.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It's been definitely something memorable I'll never forget. We were very excited to be able to have the opportunity to come down here. Everyone was very cool about it. I'm sure there wasn't a whole lot of broadcast teams coming down here in this. And our just old equipment just couldn't quite muster it up. We appreciate, obviously, we had the hospitality tent, or else we probably would have ran out of battery life early in the second period. So, once again, we're just going to kind of wrap it up here. 6:45 to play, third period. South Lyon trailing Stevenson 7-1. For Ray Stoney, I'm Dan Pelchat, Matt Boyer on camera. We'll see you next time, and we'll see you out at the Kensington Valley Ice House. Go Lions!
Stevenson, shorthanded goal, scored by number 5, Ray Chartier. Assist goes to number 9, Tyler Irvine, and number 15, Dominic Lutz makes the goal. 4:13 of the third period.
What's on my stick?